Hey everyone, I'm Fred Ranger and I hope you're doing good. In today's video, I finally got my hands on this little baby here, the Fujifilm X-T3. So there you have it, guys. This is the Fujifilm X-T3. What a beautiful camera. Again, very, very similar to the Fujifilm X-T2. I want to thank Camera Canada for sending me the X-T3. I did announce on my channel that I wanted to review it, and they listen. I'm a big client of Camera Canada. This is mostly where I buy all my cameras. They are very client-centric, and they are focusing on making a great client experience. So I really recommend them. Thank you so much again for sending me this unit to review for a couple days and a couple weeks actually. So if you look at the two cameras here, very, very similar, X-T2 and X-T3. The design of the body is almost identical. I mean, I do see that the dials have been beefed up a bit, and I can actually also see that the back buttons feel very, very similar, although they are feeling a little bit more clicky. And if you look at the actual dial themselves, they are a little bit more clicky on the X-T3 than the X-T2. Of course, if you compare it to the X-H1, which is my preferred hybrid camera right now, if it can focus, there you go. This is a way beefier grip, and this is an evolution, of course, of the X-T2, not the X-H1. Although the X-T3 packs up a lot of new features inside the body, like a new 26.1 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, a 4K 60p in 8 bits in 400 megabytes per second bit rate. So this is very interesting when it comes to shooting 4K 60. You can slow down your footage even if you're in 4K. I don't know of any other cameras outside maybe of the Panasonic that can do this. You can also shoot 120 frames per second at 1080p. This is for your slow motion. You also have a 2.1 million dot full sensor face recognition. So this is very interesting because it's actually capturing the whole sensor, and you can move your face and it can track it all across the actual frame and the actual sensor. 11 frames per second. This is very good if you want to do some fast action things. And the only drawback, the only thing that I would have loved to see in this camera, but I think they would have had to, make it a little bit bigger, it's the IBIS. There's no image or in-body image stabilization. You will have to rely on lenses like this one. This is the 18 to 55. You will have to rely on that. Lenses stabilization if you want to have stable shots, both from a photo standpoint and from a video standpoint. If that camera actually had IBIS, I think it would have killed the whole market, including Sony's. And again, I'm shooting on a Sony a7 III because I want that IBIS when I'm vlogging. And I also appreciate the quality of the video from Sony. But enough of me talking about it. Let's actually switch that Sony a7 III, and I want to do a comparison between Sony a7 III that you're actually seeing right now to the Fujifilm X-T3 and also the Fujifilm X-H1, because this is still supposedly the main video camera that, oh, look at that. Sony's having a hard time focusing here. Maybe because I'm too close. There you go. So this is supposed to be the main video camera for Fujifilm, so I want you guys to be able to see. This is by no means a full review. I will shoot both stills and photos with this camera over the next 2 weeks, so I'll be able to do an entire complete review of this, because I know a lot of people want to see comparisons with the X-T2, the Sony a7 III, and the X-H1. Is it worth upgrading? Is it not worth upgrading? Am I gonna keep this, or am I gonna return it? Am I gonna buy this and throw the 1,500 bucks needed and required to own this baby? We'll see. Right now, what I can offer you is a little test of putting this camera on the same setup that I have here and see how the video looks, because that's exactly what we want to see. It's how that face recognition works and what's the differences between the A7 III. So let's switch in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we are now on the Fujifilm X-T3. X-T3, and we are on 4K, H.264, we are on 24p, so similar settings that my Sony, but you can actually see that I've popped on the 16mm 1.4 to get that blurry background at the same time. From what I can see from the monitor, this is a very effective face tracking right now. I'm moving and it's following my eye, something that the actual A7 III can't do. So every time you hooked up a monitor to the A7 III, you're losing your eye tracking and you're actually face tracking recognition. So I'm very impressed by what Fuji has done here, because Fuji used to be very poor in terms of autofocus, but I think they've worked it out, man. They've found a way to, you know, put face recognition and eye recognition in video mode in 4K. This is massive. I mean, when you look back at the specs, this is the, you know, 26.1 crop sensor, and they've been able to build a lot of features right in it. Also, I noticed that the base ISO is not 160, so that might become handy when there's, you know, a lot of sun and you're trying to get the lower ISO possible to get the cleaner files possible. I really like that. So I have a little setup here. I have the Rode Video Mic Link, or Link Pro or something like that. Anyways, the lav mic that comes, I'll put the link down below, but the lav mic that actually hook up to the audio port, I've got this on plus 20 dB here, and I've got it on the camera to, I think, minus 27 dB. So the microphone is doing all the work and I'm relying less on the preamp of the Fuji. Fuji has some pretty decent preamp, but it's always better to use the built-in preamps of the microphones. I'm using, like I said, the 16mm 1.4, and I'm on autofocus, I'm on eye autofocus, and again, I'm amazed by the autofocus. This is close to the Canon dual pixel autofocus that I've experienced with the M50, the Canon M50, my little vlogging camera. That's it, guys. I wanted you to see it first on this channel, and you know, a lot of people have been reviewing this camera, so I'll try to find a different angle. If you have any ideas, any question about what you would like to see, comparisons with A7 III, XH1, X-T2, even Canon cameras, let me know, because I'm intending on doing a lot of reviews on this camera. I think this is a very interesting camera from Fujifilm. Might be actually the new official flagship. Love my X-H1, but again, I think the autofocus on the X-T3 and the processing power that they've built in is making it very attractive to shooters like me who have a lot of Fujifilm lens. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this image right now. I'm on Eterna profile. I will not color correct it. I will leave it as is, just so you guys can actually see how the camera performs without any tracking, or sorry, any tweaking of the colors. I've been Fred Ranger. Stay tuned for more reviews on the Fujifilm X-T3. Be happy, enjoy life, and enjoy your new gear. Cheers.